All right, guys, we're back here on Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel. Wait a minute. We're doing a live show on a Friday morning? It must be Farch. So, yeah, we decided we were going to jump on into some things here. Usually, again, we don't do Friday shows most often because we're doing predictions and all that stuff. But new bracketology, we got an SEC tournament bracket update, all this kind of fun stuff, Max, that we're going to get into for a little bit here and get people ready for the weekend of SEC basketball.
Hey, I think Twitter might have fixed their StreamYard issue.
They did.
They did?
They did.
And the Red Sea has parted at once.
We're back.
All right. Well, how's that for a nice, pleasant surprise on a fine late February Friday morning? Perfect month, by the way. Did you notice that? It was the perfect calendar month. Every week was perfect. It started, the one was on a Sunday, and then it was a perfect farch. You know, you can't get too greedy here, folks. Perfect farch.
Well, we'll see. Depending on how the games unfold tomorrow, may not be a perfect farch for some teams, but we'll get into it because it's a big Saturday in SEC basketball. If you want our thoughts on some of the featured games, you can check those out here on the channel. We put those up yesterday: Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, Arkansas. You can get some thoughts, previews, predictions, all that stuff on those games. Should be quite a trio of games. We might just give you some quick picks, too, on some of the others. We just didn't get a chance to do the video on those like we usually do sometimes, but we might give you a little quick pick action here at the end of the show. Thoughts on some of the other games, just rapid fire, all that kind of stuff. But we are going to get into some bracketology, Max, because
Yep.
let's get into some updated bracketology. Then we got the SEC tournament bracket currently updated with tiebreakers and all that set. So we'll get into all that. All right. Where are we going to go for bracketology? Who are we using here?
Does Joe have an update?
He does. Joe does have an update. Would you like to go to Joe?
Let's see what he's got.
All right, let's go to Joe. We will pull up our
Also,
friend Joe
EJ
here.
says, Max, I didn't get a Boogie Flan revenge game in the Florida-Arkansas prediction. I'm not going to lie. I swear to you, EJ. I swear to you. Yesterday, probably 2 hours after we recorded that live predictions, I'm like, oh my gosh, we didn't mention the Boogie Flan revenge game. It popped in my head about a few hours after we recorded it. And you know what? Leave it up to EJ to be the one that keeps us accountable, Blake. That's what he's here for.
I purposely did not mention it. As we were recording, I had it in my mind, and I purposely left it out.
Did you really? Or are you just messing with me right now?
No, I did.
Okay.
I don't want to overplay the revenge game in this era. I think revenge games in this era are not what they used to be. So I don't really see this as revenge. I don't see this revenge. Boogie's a Florida Gator. He doesn't care about the Razorbacks. All right? No, he's right. We probably should have thrown it in there somewhere, but it is what it is. All right. Here we go. Joe's bracketology. There's the factory, churning out the top seeds: Duke, Michigan, Arizona, UConn. We think that's set, by the way, right? I don't envision a scenario where it's anything other than those four. Maybe?
I would say UConn would be I think the top three are set. I think UConn could potentially, but after oh my gosh, did you catch that game against St. John's?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I think it's UConn.
That was bad. That was very bad. 24 misses in a row.
Yeah. So, who's the next in line?
Iowa State, I believe, right? The Cyclones. Because didn't Iowa State get the 1 seed in the mock, committee mock?
I don't remember.
I think they did.
Okay. Well, I'm going to predict it's going to be UConn, but we'll find out. Iowa State does still have games against Texas Tech and Arizona. I mean, if Iowa State wins at Arizona, then they probably get a good shot, but I'm going to go UConn. All right, here we go. Well, top overall seed Duke, last team in Indiana, first team out Cal.
Cal.
Look at this line. You'll notice the SEC represents each of the current last four byes. plus the first team among the last 4 in what could be a nightmare brewing for the selection committee. This is what you've got to love right here. So, it says proper bracketing procedures as they relate to the separation of teams within conferences could get thrown out the window, or multiple teams could be moved off their natural seed line. I think that's more likely to happen, which the committee has been correctly reluctant to do in recent years. I still think they may have no choice this year. Yeah. The 5 teams in question.
Nightmare.
5 teams in question: Georgia, Missouri, Texas A&M, Texas, and Auburn are not likely to remain in such perfect order. They won't. But the extremely close nature of their resumes suggests that one or more could play their way out of the field given head-to-head possibilities down the stretch or in the SEC tournament. I mean, I think that's pretty much a given, right? We've kind of said that much.
I think
they're not going to stay.
The slogan of SEC basketball this year. SEC basketball, welcome to the nightmare.
Yeah, that may be it. So, all right, we'll get to that in a second. But let's look at the scenario we got playing out here. All right, Alabama in the East is the 4 against UNC Wilmington. Boy, if I'm Alabama, I'm salivating over this little pod right here.
Nice.
Yeah, Alabama to the Sweet 16 easily in that scenario. Let's see what else we got here. St. Louis, A&M's moved down to the 10, playing Utah State.
Yep.
Purdue's the two. Let's just jump on over here to this one. We've got Georgia's the 9, playing Miami as the 8. Michigan awaits Arkansas and South Florida. No thanks if I'm an Arkansas fan. Would not love that 5-12.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Made it very clear. Doesn't want that one. Not saying Arkansas would lose, but man, that's a tough 12. And remember, Evan Mia put out yesterday that South Florida was one of his underseeded teams. Yep. We should pull that up at some point when we finish this, because that was a really good list. Arkansas was also one of his underseeded teams. So quite a matchup that would be. Auburn, last 4 in. No surprise. Against TCU. Winner to play North Carolina. Missouri has jumped up to the 10 line to play Wisconsin in St. Louis. I think you'd take that if you're Missouri.
Okay.
Iowa State is the 2. It's tough. That's a tough 2-7 there. But
yeah, it's tough, but I like getting out of the 11s for Mizzou.
And you get to play in St. Louis.
There you go.
All right. Good. At least Joe's got our matchup too. NC State, UCLA. Give that matchup to me all day, every day. Can you imagine this trio of coaches somehow? Dan Hurley, Will Wade, Mick Cronin in Philadelphia. Oh my!
Did you see the latest Will Wade post? Well, lack of post game, I think.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm gonna get this wrong, but I think he said that he didn't he didn't talk to his team after the game, because if he did talk to his team, what he would have said would have lost quite a few players. And I was just like, geez,
damn. Yeah,
you're on your way to play in March Madness.
That's how it works. Okay. Tennessee, 5-12 against Liberty in Portland. Oh, that just feels like a recipe for it's just a mess of a 5-12 right there. Who else we got?
3 5 seeds for the SEC? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2's going down in that scenario. Florida's the 2, so they moved up. That's not a surprise. We knew that was going to happen.
Nice. Nice.
But, I mean, remember, this can't technically happen here, but he does have St. Louis or Texas. That would be corrected, I think, because, again, that's where you'll have teams that'll get moved around. So, yeah. So they won't play Texas. All right. Florida, St. Louis, though. How about that one? Gators by 40. Let's go over to where we at. Or we're in the West still. Vanderbilt, Belmont, 5-12. My gosh, just a brutal draw for all the 5s, I think.
I know.
Michigan State right there waiting for the Commodores in Philly. And then Kentucky's the 7. How is Kentucky up? 1. I don't know how that happened. But beating South Carolina? Jumped them up a seat line? I don't know how that happens. But they did, I guess. Yeah, they were an 8 last time. Now they're up to 7.
8? That could be because of an Iowa loss, maybe? Is Iowa down to an 8?
Yeah, maybe. So, By the way, somebody's talking about comparing Cronin to Hurley. Guys, we're not comparing resumes. We're comparing personalities.
Yes.
We're not comparing resumes.
Plus, I
Dan
think
Hurley
we
has,
can all agree Mick Cronin is quite a few steps ahead of Dan Hurley, right?
yeah, right. Exactly. Way to get the chat stirred up with that. Kentucky SMU, the Ultimates. I mean, can you just come on? Give me somebody against SMU in the first round. So, all right, there's the bracket. Look at this. This is an incredible piece of work here. Last 4 buys in the order: Georgia, Missouri, Texas A&M, Texas, and then Auburn. Last 4 in.
Auburn, what are we doing?
So there is no scenario where I think. Is there a scenario where 2 of these teams get left out? I mean, I'm saying, yes, I realize, guys, like worst case scenario, if you have teams that lose out, they're not going to get in. But, or do you think it's going to come down to one of these teams getting left out? I think there is a scenario where 2 could get left out. Because the problem, can I tell you the 2? Missouri and Auburn. And the reason why is schedules. Because I mentioned, Missouri has road games at Mississippi State and Oklahoma coming up. And Auburn has got the tricky home games, but I still look at that potential 15-loss scenario for Auburn and wonder what the committee's going to do with that. So, but I also know that Texas and Texas A&M could play their way out. But here's what Lenardi said, right? And this is what we knew going in. They're going to play each other on Saturday. Somebody's getting a bump up by winning that game. One of those teams are moving up. So I think that's important to remember.
Yeah, I feel like Auburn is going to be the testiest if they lose a few more, just because the argument, there's going to be so much pressure nationally from you can't let a team with that record in the tournament. You know, there's going to be all that garbage that goes along with it. Plus, you're going to be, I mean, their record since February 1st is going to be pretty bad. But that's probably who I'm most worried about.
Sam, I know you said no on Missouri, but if you think the committee is going to look at Missouri after a loss at Mississippi State or Oklahoma and not dock them several spots, I think it's going to happen. But the good news for Missouri, we always say, is that your good wins are still going to bring you up. So I agree with you. Like, the good wins are really going to help Missouri, and that's why we talked about their resume the other day. But, like, let's not act like it's out of the realm of possibility that they could lose both road games. Like, that's a pretty tough back-to-back road game. And I know we saw Mississippi State just give up 100 million threes, but they also beat Auburn in that kind of scenario where Auburn had to win that game. I'm just giving you all kinds of scenarios here. We're trying to keep it neutral. I think Missouri will get in, but these are the 2 games that I think just absolutely terrify you a little bit. So,
okay, so Chris poses a good question that is probably going to be, I don't want to speak it into existence, but a 15-loss Auburn team versus an undefeated Miami, Ohio team, who gets in? Well, it would be a 1-loss Miami, Ohio team, because if they're undefeated, they're going to be automatic. But 15-loss Auburn against 1-loss Miami of Ohio. Looking at the wins above bubble metric that the committee has emphasized, Miami of Ohio's wins above bubble is 32. Auburn's is, why can't I find Auburn? It should be around here somewhere. If Miami, Ohio's 32, Auburn's 42. That's alarming.
but what's the strength of schedule difference?
Clearly it's
so large. I mean, I think that's the thing. Yeah. But you can't penalize a team for playing in the conference they're playing in. So, and so I don't know.
I mean, it would be a intense debate if that is the scenario.
Yeah, it would. And let's quickly do the wins above bubble if you guys want to know where that's at, and we'll kind of give you, especially for the teams in this range that we keep talking about. Let's look at the wins above bubble for these teams here. All right. make sure I'm in the right column. Okay, wins above bubble in the SEC. Florida is at 8, Vanderbilt 17, Arkansas 18, Alabama's 13. This is not in the right order. Okay, now I'm realizing. Tennessee's at 20, Kentucky's at 26, Georgia's at 37, Auburn's at 42, as Max mentioned. Texas is at 44, Texas A&M is at 40, Missouri getting some work done there, 35. And that's where, again, we talk about loss scenarios. Auburn and Missouri have the highest bad loss scenarios in play because they play the teams that are in that bottom tier, right? Here's where we get into LSU. 75 wins above bubble, Oklahoma 76, Ole Miss 106, Mississippi State 90. So that's why I think, like I said, guys, I'm not saying that these two teams are going to necessarily miss the tournament, but I think these are the two teams that kind of have the most to lose here based on their schedule. But you can also make up for it. Missouri could beat Arkansas at home. Auburn could win at Alabama. You can make up for any of these possible, scenarios. So something to keep in mind there. And that's why, again, we're just kind of bringing up all sides here. So
yeah.
What about A&M? Quickly on their schedule. That's the thing. We said with A&M schedule, they don't really have any. Well, they do go to LSU. That wouldn't be a great loss.
Can't lose that one.
Yeah. So they're home against Texas, home against Kentucky. Texas and Texas A&M are going to. One of them is going to play their way in, maybe by virtue of beating the other.
Right.
And Texas still gets to go to Arkansas, and they got the home game against Oklahoma. So a lot to come up with here, but
I think
that's where we're at.
The best case scenario there for just the league from a neutral perspective, trying to get as many teams as possible in, would be to have Texas beat Texas A&M in College Station, and then have Texas A&M follow that loss up with a Tuesday win against Kentucky and beat LSU on the way out. That way, Texas gets the win on the road, and then A&M still grabs the Kentucky win at home. I think that would be the best case for those two teams.
If you had to ask me right now, I think only one of these teams maybe gets knocked out. I don't think it's more than one. I think just one of these teams may just kind of have that bad stretch where they get knocked out down the stretch here. And remember, this is not incorporating bid stealers. Like, you can't do a bracketology and incorporate that they're going to be multiple bid stealers. So that's going to happen. So to me, it's like, oh, we're in the last 4 in right now. We're okay. No, you need to take at least 2 spots out there somewhere and just be like, all right, now you're much closer to the cut line. So I think, again, one of these teams maybe plays its way out, but maybe it all works just like it did last year, where you just get in that final week and a half of the season, every game goes the way you need it to go for the bubble, and you get everybody in. So that's also still in play. Yeah. So there you have it. All right.
I have Evan Mia's thing we can pull up as well.
Yeah, pull that up there. Let's pull that up.
The seeded, underseeded graphic.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Pull this up. Here, I'll drop this overlay and let me read off his description here of this graphic. So he says, this is from Evan Mia on Twitter. You guys know he references analytics all the time. We can identify possible underseeded teams in March Madness using bracketology and team ratings at evanmia.com. Underseeded teams. Those are teams that are above the dotted line there. He's kind of got them highlighted with a little circle background there. Underseeded teams advance 69% farther in the bracket than other teams with that same seed. This graph shows every team's rating versus their current seed projection. So basically, these teams that have a small little circle background that are above that dotted line fit the criteria that those teams advance 69% further than teams that are on that same seed line as them. Yeah. It's the best way I can explain it.
So he also, I think, put out the list, right? Does he have the list too? Of just the list of teams? I feel like he had that on there. I saw that yesterday. It may have.
List.
may have been in the replies. I think it was the first reply to this one.
He does have a video on it, and then he does have the list. Do you want me to just bring that up?
Pull that up. Yeah, pull that list up because I think that'll be easier. And there are a couple teams that will bring this back up and show you are right there on the line. But I think having the list is important.
I see. Yep.
And the team that's going to stand out the most from that group, like Florida is the team that stands out the most. And I don't think that should be a surprise. Like we said, Florida has the fourth best odds to win the national championship right now. And if you were projecting at this point a 3 seed, right, or a last 2 seed or whatever, Florida's still going to be underseeded, if you just look at the way that shakes out. So with their performance. But of course, you also see Arkansas on here. You see Texas on here. It makes us feel a little bit better about our Texas love in the gut bracket this week. And then, like we said, South Florida is one of those 12s that I just don't think you want any part of when you look at that. So Vanderbilt was very close, I think, if you look at the actual line, I think Vanderbilt was right there. I'm trying to think if there was another SEC team. I remember seeing it, but I think Vanderbilt was the closest in terms of potential
Tennessee was
underseeded.
also very close.
Tennessee was close, okay. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like Michigan, right? It's like that. I think this does kind of speak to Michigan's overall strength just from a resume standpoint. Obviously, they can't be underseeded as a 1, but, it's just like, yeah. I mean, that just shows you that Michigan being on that line means something. So,
yeah, and Crizzle brings up a good point here. If Florida was on the 2 line, they'd still be underseeded.
They would.
That went away quick.
Yep.
Yeah, it just goes to show how if you want to pick a Final Four run from a non-1 seed, right now I think your favorite pick for that is Florida as a 3. And then if you're a fan of a 1 or a 2 seed team, that wouldn't be in the SEC clearly, but you do not want to have that 3 be Florida. Give me any of the other. Give me Nebraska as a 3 rather than give me this Gator team. Santa Clara kind of flying under the radar a little bit. They've got this guy Graves, supposed to be a nice like NBA prototype projection, a little raw, but they've got some size and talent there at Santa Clara. And then South Florida. If you guys haven't watched South Florida yet, Brian Hodgson has this team playing some nasty basketball. They've got Isaiah Nelson, if you remember him from the Arkansas State teams, the 6'10". He can switch on to anybody. Remember Pinion from Arkansas off the bench? Pinion coming in from the Musselman teams. He's still ripping threes. And then their main guy, Wes Ennis, is just 6'2", just sniper. Like he's got games of 10 threes multiple times. He's got 10 of 22 games from 3, 10 of 19 games from 3. You do not want to see South Florida as a 12. They should be an 11.
Yeah, so there you go. There's a list of potential underseeded teams, and yeah, if we pull the actual thing back up again. Sorry, I think we did at the same time. Yeah, you can see that like if we're looking at teams that are right there, like Vanderbilt's right there beside Arkansas, just a little bit lower. Where was Tennessee at?
Tennessee's underneath Vanderbilt, and
that's right. There they are. Yeah, that's right. They're both basically in the same spot. So, yeah, so they're right there. They're pretty close. So, worth noting.
Yep,
all right.
Cool exercise.
There's bracketology. Yep. There's some bracketology. We won't pull this up, but if there's any discrepancy like Bracket Matrix right now, which does not have ESPN's updated bracket, but it does have a lot of other brackets that were updated yesterday. So maybe the ESPN update would help. Florida's the first 3 seed. As we said, Lenardi moved them up, so I think that would potentially move Florida up in Bracket Matrix to the 2. But first 3 seed as it stands right now. Alabama, the last 4 seed. Vanderbilt, the first 5 seed. Tennessee, the second 5 seed. Arkansas, the third 5 seed. So those teams still grouped together. Not surprised. Kentucky as the second 7 seed and actually moving closer to being the first 7 seed.
Yeah.
Which may surprise some people. But then you get into the jumbled mess. Georgia's the last 9 seed. A&M the first 10 seed. Auburn, the third 10 seed. Texas, the fourth 10 seed. Missouri, last 4 in at the top 11. And yeah, that's where they're all at this point on Bracket Matrix. So
So I have a little bit of a watch guide for the league this weekend that I've put together. A
Uh-oh.
little bit of a hate watch guide, maybe teams you need to root against to improve your seeding. It's pretty lengthy. So did we want to get into anything else before I
Go ahead and do that, because then we got to get to the SEC tournament bracket. So,
Okay, I'll try to make this quick. Tonight's games, there's a few to watch. For that bubble pairing of Mizzou, Texas, Auburn, A&M, and Georgia, I threw Georgia in there just because you never know here. Miami of Ohio is -12 at Western Michigan. If you get a loss there from Miami, Ohio, and then they lose one more, that pretty much knocks them out, and it would open up another spot in the 11 line. So you're watching every Miami, Ohio game there. For Florida, it's Michigan at Illinois. Illinois is fighting with Florida for that 2 seed there. They're, depending on what bracketology you look, they're back and forth. Michigan's -2.5 right now. So rooting for a Michigan victory there to keep pushing down Illinois. Tomorrow, for that group of the 5/4 seeds, the Vandy, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee group. It's Duke versus Virginia. Duke is -9.5. Virginia is up on that 4 line. A bad loss to Duke is not going to hurt you, but a Virginia win would definitely lock them in ahead of that whole group. So you're rooting for a big-time Duke win there. And then Iowa State is -7.5 at home against Texas Tech. Texas Tech is also right there on that 4 line. A big-time Iowa State win could potentially open up a spot on that 4 line with the way that Texas Tech has been reeling lately. So rooting for just to open up some spots on that 4 line, rooting for Duke and Iowa State over Virginia and T-Tech. For Florida, Houston against Colorado. You're fighting with Houston on that 2 line. It would be a huge upset, but if it does happen and it's at halftime, the game's close, you're pulling for Colorado. Try to make some room there for Florida on the 2 line. For the Cats, NC State at Notre Dame. NC State is right behind Kentucky. I think 1 spot on bracket matrix on that 7 line. A loss at Notre Dame would clear up spot on that 7 line for Kentucky. And then there's a ton for the Missouri, Texas, Auburn, A&M, Georgia group. You're rooting for Clemson to lose at home against Louisville. A Clemson loss could potentially drop them down to a 10. They're projected as a 9 right now. So you're rooting for Louisville on the road there. It's UCLA at Minnesota. UCLA is on the 10 line right now. A bad loss at Minnesota, who's a pretty good team, could open up a spot on the 10 line. And then same thing with SMU at Stanford, but for the 9s. SMU right now is on a 9. If they go to Stanford and lose a bad one, that could move them back a spot. TCU is the last team in the tournament right now on bracket matrix, and they're at Kansas State. Rooting for Kansas State there to win at home, knock TCU out. And then the last one is Virginia Tech at UNC. Virginia Tech's in a lot of your next 4 outs, last 4 or first 4 outs. A bad loss at UNC would be one of the last opportunities Virginia Tech has, and that would pretty much eliminate the Hokies. So there's kind of your quick rundown watch guide for bubble teams, and then kind of that group, that pairing of SEC teams all in the 5/4 line.
Yeah. This had me cracking up. Big Hitter EJ, come on, Coach Prime, because he's rooting for the Colorado Buffs. I don't think Coach Prime's coaching the basketball team. So
yeah. They have some good freshmen.
No, we had to let Barry in. Barry the Wonder Dog needed to come in. So yeah, he had to come in during all that. But all right, so there you go. There's your watch guide for the weekend. Before we give you the updated SEC tournament bracket, let's tell you about our friends over at And Collar, ANDcollar.com. Speaking of a sponsored polo, head over there. Performance menswear brand. They invented the Workleisure. Don't forget it. Quarter zips, polos, button-ups, pants, suits, you name it. They got it all. Stretchy, affordable, make you look good. SEC16, 16% off. Over at And Collar, ANDcollar.com. Check it out. Remember, spill anything on this stuff, it'll come right out. The comfort, the 4-way stretch. Wrinkle resistant, machine washable, lightweight. The price is great. SEC16, 16% off. Over at And Collar. ROKFORM, ROKFORM.com, the world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock, secure mounting, SEC25, 25% off over there. Great phone case accessories, great golf accessories, all kinds of stuff. Head over there and check them out at ROKFORM and our friends at Icon Wallets. Incredible people over there. Premium Napa leather. They are officially licensed collegiate wallets. Use our code SEC16 for 20% off your entire order over at Icon Wallets. Okay. Who wants the SEC tournament bracket update? I hate doing these. You know why? Because people will question everything. Like every single thing gets questioned here. But I've done my due diligence here, and I believe we have the right update, and we're going to walk through all the seeds to make sure everyone understands why people are where they are in this particular sequence. Okay, Florida is the number 1 seed. Surprise. Meanwhile, who's the number 2 seed, Max? Well, guess what? Thankfully, finally, you have a very simple tiebreaker right now, and that is Arkansas and Alabama, both at 11-4. We know who has the head-to-head. That is Alabama. So Alabama the 2 right now, Arkansas is the 3. Tennessee by themselves at 10-5, which means they are the 4 at the moment. Now, how do we break the tie between Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Missouri? Missouri fans, we always say, it can be frustrating, but when you get in these kind of tiebreaker scenarios, it's all a matter of who you played and who you beaten. And luckily for the Tigers, they have beaten every other team in this particular tiebreaker, which means that Missouri right now would be the 5 because they have wins over A&M, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. Why is Vanderbilt the 6? Well, the Commodores, let me pull this up, are 2-1 against this group. They've beaten A&M, they've beaten Kentucky, lost to Missouri. They're 2-1. They'd be the 6th seed right now. Why is Kentucky the 7, A&M the 8? Well, neither of these teams, Max, have beaten any of the others at this point. So, therefore, now Kentucky could change that on Saturday if they beat Vanderbilt. This would change, of course, standings-wise. But Kentucky has lost games to Vanderbilt and Missouri. Texas A&M has lost games to Vanderbilt, Missouri. Kentucky, Texas A&M have not played yet. Both teams 0-2. So what do we do then, tiebreaker, folks? We go from the top down. Neither team has beaten Florida. Neither team has beaten Alabama. But guess who beat Arkansas? You know who beat Arkansas.
Yep.
Therefore, Kentucky would be the 7 right now. Texas A&M would be the 8. Now, things thankfully have gotten so much easier the rest of the way. Texas is the 9 at 8-7. Georgia's the 10 at 7-8. Auburn, the 11 at 6-9. Mississippi State, the 12 at 5-10. Oklahoma, the 13 at 4-11. Boy, how did we get so lucky here? But we know it's not going to end this way. There will be tiebreakers everywhere going into it. If you are interested in the 3-way tie at the bottom, LSU has the best record against Ole Miss and South Carolina. They have a 2-1 record. South Carolina 1-1. Ole Miss has not beaten either of those teams, so that's why they are the 16 right now.
I like this setup. I really do. Give me that Mizzou Tennessee game. Oh, front court on front court action. 400 fouls.
Yeah, when I look at the draw, I would say that Missouri at the 5, I feel like has an interesting path. Because and look, they could lose to Mississippi State, right? They could lose to Oklahoma. They're going to play both those teams. But I think if you're just looking at it from a tournament setup, I like their setup better than the other teams that they're grouped with there in the second round. So, you have beaten Tennessee. I think you would still match up well against Oklahoma or Mississippi State. So you can see Missouri maybe being the team that can make a run here. But those top 4 seeds, pretty strong. But, yeah.
Could see Texas winning a few games here in a tournament setting. I haven't said that before, ever.
I mean, I think right now the odds would be that Texas would be the favorite to get to the quarterfinals, I would think.
Right.
To play Florida again. So, you get a lot of these interesting rematches for sure.
A Georgia-Kentucky game would be great.
Arkansas Vanderbilt would be fun.
Rematch.
But don't discount Auburn, potentially getting to the quarterfinals, I think. So, yeah. I think
Just
this
look
is
at that first round, Blake. And all of those matchups, there's a team that we have said at some point, like, oh, they're going to play spoiler. I mean, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and then honestly both LSU or Auburn. Either one of those, they play at their best. They can beat some of the better teams in the league.
Yeah, I mean,
there's gonna be some madness here in the SEC tournament.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so there you go. Are we gonna do it? I mean, come on. The bracket's up on the screen. Are we gonna do it?
Oh, were we not?
I didn't know if we were or not. A little impromptu SEC gut bracket. Why not? It's a Friday. Give the people what they want. Before we do that, shout out to Justin. I know he brought this up earlier.
Oh!
It's official.
All right.
It's going to be a boy. So we're going to have to add someone else to the royal family for Justin. So,
how about that?
By the way, that's name-wise. I mean, again, if it's Blake or Max is not one of the two names, then Justin's probably going to be kicked out. But that's okay. Congratulations to Justin.
It's got to go.
The longest running member / supporter of the entire channel. So we appreciate Justin. And, excited for him. So, all right.
Well, Okereke Holland on the way.
What about Byington Bing Holland?
Byington Bing Holland?
I like that. I think Byington Bing should be the official. Little BBH. What do you think?
Tanner. So. Tanner Holland. Get over here, Tanner.
Honestly, I could see that. I could see that. If they play some odds over at FanDuel right now, I might go with that one. So, I could see that. All right. Congrats to Justin. Speaking of which, don't forget, before we hop off the show, we need to pull up those graphics that we were sent yesterday on Twitter.
Oh, my gosh.
Those have got to be put on the screen by the time we finish the show. All right.
Yes.
There we go. Gut bracket time. SEC Tournament bracket. Get ready, folks. Lock in. Here we go. Texas Ole Miss, the 9-16 game.
Give me the horns.
Longhorns. Ooh, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, the 12-13.
Okay, so this is where everybody chooses Oklahoma, and then I go with them as well. Give me Oklahoma.
Give me Mississippi State.
Yeah,
Josh Hubbard.
I know it.
It's one of those games that starts at 2:30 on Wednesday and it finishes at 6:30 on Wednesday. All right, South Carolina, Georgia.
That's Georgia.
Yeah, that's Georgia. Maybe the least appetizing first round game. I don't know. I don't know why. What was the game they played last time? I don't remember, but like you got more, whatever, like entertainment, wild chaos potential with the other games. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. But Auburn LSU.
This is the late one, right?
Yeah.
This is the late night game?
The late night game always.
Where bad things happen and LSU beats you in the first round.
Yep. You going LSU?
Yeah, I'm going LSU.
Boy, I'm going Auburn. All right. Second round, we got Texas A&M and Texas.
Texas. Sticking to my guns.
Yeah, I'm going to go Texas too. Missouri and Oklahoma or Mississippi State?
Mizzou.
I'm going to go Missouri. Kentucky, Georgia. Oh, boy.
Got to pick an upset somewhere here, folks. Got to pick an upset somewhere, and I'm not doing LSU over Vandy, so I'm going Georgia over Kentucky.
Home game for the Cats. They just played a home game against Georgia, and it wasn't ideal. But I'm going to pick Kentucky in the rematch. Vanderbilt, LSU, or Auburn?
Yeah, I needed to have one second round upset. So if I'm going Georgia, I'll pick Vanderbilt then here.
Yeah, I'm a complete coward. I'm not picking upsets anywhere. Give me Vanderbilt to advance in this one. All right. Florida versus Texas.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Florida.
Man, I can already tell what I'm going to have in the semifinals. This is
I want
boring.
chat members winners here as well. We need bracket results from you guys as well coming in the chat.
Yeah, people are going to knock on our picks, and no one's making a pick in the bracket. Come on, give us your picks. All right, I got Florida 2 in the semis. Tennessee, Missouri.
That is where I really want to go Missouri. You know what? I will. Give me Missouri.
Tennessee. Alabama, Georgia, or Kentucky?
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama. Man.
Have you picked one upset?
Dude, here's the thing. Like, can I retroactively like pick an upset somewhere? Because this is just boring. Okay. Arkansas, Vanderbilt, or whoever. Yeah, you've got Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Arkansas, Vandy. Is that where we maybe see the rematch go the complete opposite direction? I've been too crazy already, though. Give me Arkansas. I've been too crazy.
Yeah, give me Arkansas.
Wow.
Boo. Boo this man. All right, who you got? I got Florida, Tennessee. You got Florida, Missouri.
Yep. I got Florida, Missouri. And Missouri did beat Florida already this year. But the Gators get their revenge.
Florida. Come on. All right. Who have you got?
Alabama, Arkansas.
Oh, yeah, me too. That's right. The rematch.
Goes to Arkansas this time. Arkansas. They're healthier this time, and Arkansas gets it done. Yes. This is good, Chris.
So boring.
Good, Chris. Yes.
So boring. I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick an upset here. I'm going Arkansas. The 3-2 upset.
Okay.
I gotta have an upset. Come on, this is ridiculous.
The upset.
It's ridiculous. Florida, Arkansas in the championship. Can I give you my answer after tomorrow? Thanks.
I'm going.
You picked Arkansas last time.
Arkansas. Yep. I'm sticking to my guns there with Gators. Grab just a little pick me up loss right before the tournament, almost on purpose. Little tactic there from Golden. Reset the boys. We're up here. Let's reset the boys back down here. Get ready for a March run. I'm going Arkansas with the long play of knowing that I'm probably going to be Final Four running the Gators, and so I want to set the Gators up for that. This is a long play here, folks.
In the last 4 gut brackets of any kind we've done, I picked Florida to win the national championship. I picked them to win the SEC tournament. And remember, we said it's good to drop a game in March or in February, right? Not good to drop a game in March. So, like, should I give them, like, even though this game would not be played in February, should I give them a drop here just to, that's the one you get out of the way, right? Is me picking against you.
Well, that's the exact formula for the Anthony Davis Kentucky team. They went undefeated in February and then lost in the SEC tournament championship game right before they went on their run.
True.
Just saying.
Well, good for Anthony Davis, but I'm picking Florida again.
Okay.
At least I'm consistent. I picked the Gators. Okay. Now watch. Arkansas gets the upset on Saturday. There won't be a single gut bracket we do the rest of the season that I won't pick Arkansas to win the national championship, to pick them to win the SEC tournament. Be all in on the Hawks. But I'm going to pick Florida again.
Did you catch John Fanta's Arkansas shout out this week on Twitter? He was asked Like if there's one dark horse team that's not the obvious Michigan, Arizona, Duke to win it all, like one team outside the top 2 seeds, he goes John Calipari and Darius A. Cup. I'm like, come on, Fanta, fire me up. I love John Fanta.
Incredible. All right. That was just a very anticlimactic SEC tournament bracket. You know, we always fill out the chaos bracket too, but I don't like to do that until we get the actual bracket. But if I'm looking at like chaos bracket potential, here's what it would look like. I would have Auburn in the semifinals. I'd have Alabama, Auburn, and then I'd have like Missouri, Texas. So, and then Alabama would cut down the nets and be the SEC tournament winner.
I like a little run from Georgia potentially as well.
Why don't I have Alabama and Georgia played? Why am I forgetting that game? When did they play? Oh no, they haven't played yet. They don't play until next Tuesday. Okay. All right.
Well, there you go.
Get back to me on that. All right. There you go. This is ridiculous. Give us a real bracket here. Come on. Is it March yet?
Mine was pretty chaotic. I had a few second round upsets there.
Yeah. You did a good job. All right. We're out of here. There you go. There's your setup for the weekend. And yeah. There you go.
Michigan, Illinois tonight. Who do you got? Big game.
Where's the game at?
It's at Illinois. Spread opened Michigan -1.5, and now it's Michigan -2.5. I've got Michigan.
I feel like I picked against Michigan last time they played, and well, was that Duke? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'm picking Michigan. So
I have there's just something about Illinois for me. Just something's off. I can't trust them.
Oh, the graphics. Pull them up. Where are they?
Oh,
Twitter.
Yes.
Twitter graphics. We almost forgot about this.
I'll just share the whole. Should I just share the whole thread?
No. Don't do that. Let's just share the graphics. Because I think it'll look better visually if we just share the graphics.
There's quite a few.
We want to give credit, but I think it'll look better if we have a full screen graphic.
All right, let's see what we can do here.
This will be worth the wait, folks.
All right, let's drop that. Where is that? And then let's add that.
Oh, this was this is just incredible. We're far from done here, folks. All right, so remember, we put it to the challenge the other day. I don't remember when that was. Was it after Florida's game against Texas the other night? We said, we need to get some artwork or something of the royal family here for the Gators. And ask and you shall receive.
This is from GatorBait98 on Twitter.
GatorBait98 on Twitter. Here's the King Ruben. Next.
We also have. You have just been humbled by Sir Thomas Houck.
Sir Thomas Houck. Look at that guy right there. In the field. A true leader. He's not sitting back letting his army do the work. He is sitting there front and center with the flag in hand, just ready to attack.
Leading the army of Kondo the Conqueror.
Look at that right there. This guy is sitting in the tent. He is just drinking whatever he's got available. And just
the Viking horn.
Of course, he's got the Viking horn. And he's just sitting there, all that. So incredible.
Well, because he just went to the Empire State Building, taken down, and
Congdon. Oh my! This is King Kong done up there. Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good stuff.
All right.
Good stuff.
That's good stuff. We need to get Gator bait on. We need to do this for every team.
I know.
So, all right. There you go, guys. We appreciate you. Some fun on the way out here.
Big day tomorrow.
Big day games tomorrow. So,
what's your breakfast plans tomorrow? What's your morning plans tomorrow? One of the last SEC Saturdays of the year. One of the last. It's been a fantastic year. I'm on it. I gotta think now. I gotta do something special. It can't just be a normal cup of Joe morning. No way.
It's not the last Saturday. Like, so
it's one of them.
Well, yeah, okay. Last week was one of them too. Like, did you do anything special then? Come on. You wait until the last Saturday of SEC play, and that's when you go all out, right?
I think
tomorrow's
I'm
a big
gonna up
slate.
the ante this year. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start my celebrations a Saturday early.
It's the last day of February, so I mean, you kind of
Yeah, I know.
Go all
We're
out.
entering March. This is kind of like, when the soldiers get steak and lobster before they go to battle. It's like, folks, it's about to be March. Load up on a nice Saturday breakfast here because we're about to strap in.
Yeah.
Pancakes and bacon, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Chris. I know I could count on someone out there.
Yeah. All right. There you go. We're out of here. We appreciate you guys. Reactions tomorrow. Don't really know the schedule just yet, but we will at least have 2 tomorrow, I think, is the plan. So,
Yes.
Yeah, at least 2 reactions tomorrow. So we'll jump into that. We appreciate you guys watching. Baseball coming up tonight, I think, after some games. So check out that on the channel and all the other good stuff. So, all right. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon here in Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.